Cinephile, I am stoked about today's show because dinosaurs. I have been a fanboy of dinosaurs since before Tubbo over here ever scoffed at a bad line delivery. And today we're going to talk about the often hated Jurassic Park 3. And I have a little twist for you today, fanboy. Nothing you can say will deter me from winning today's episode, fanboy. I look forward to trashing how every single frame of this movie fails to live up to the original movie and the magic that we saw when T-Rex... Wait, what? Twist?
This is OX Solo, the Cinem Advocate. Look at that smile. Not a care in the world. Figuring out which movies are good and bad should be easy, even for this dumb dope. But when you look inside OX Solo's head, you'll understand why he has trouble making up his mind. On one side,
I'm his fanboy side. Without my unabashed love for movies, this pasty tub over here wouldn't even exist.
And on the other side,
I'm the cinephile side, and I don't just watch films, I critique them. And as an award-winning filmmaker, we are perfectly prepared to let you know why damn near every movie that has ever been made, short of Deflator Mass, is a waste of the film that it was shot on. Yeah, I totally disagree.
And seriously, this happens damn near every single movie. Sometimes they agree, usually they don't. But whose argument will OX side with in the end? It's always a battle inside OX's head, and he's constantly stuck being of two minds.
Yep, you heard me correctly, Cinephile. I had a feeling you were going to go all hypocrite on me this week and come at me with, it didn't live up to the original, Drek. Just last week, you lambasted me for comparing Superman 3 to the original, so your challenge for this week is you have to make your point about Jurassic Park 3 without comparing it to the original movie. Judge it on its own merits, you told me last week. Well, turnabout's fair play, big guy. Challenge absolutely accepted. Let's begin.
You probably won't get off this island alive. It's not just a walk in the park.
Before we get into why we're talking about Jurassic Park 3, I think it's important to kind of paint a picture of what the dinosaur scene was before the original Jurassic Park came out, because there's a weird retroactive history floating around, like Dinosaur Mania suddenly started in '93 when Spielberg waved a CGI magic wand. Nah, man. That was the eruption, not the ignition. For us, Dinosaur Fever had been simmering for over a decade. It Land Before Time, turning every kid into a traumatized dinosaur fan. Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend, it showed up on HBO like it was part of the cable package. Transformers giving us Dinobots, and Godzilla 85 stomping into theaters like an atomic encore. First time in like 30 years. Even the Flintstones was still kicking around in syndication. And not to mention the weird niche stuff that we inhaled like it was fossilized sugar. Denver the Last Dinosaur was your rollerblading, guitar shredding brosaurus. Prehysteria was what happened technically came out after E.T. with a herd of velociraptors. Dino riders strapped missiles to Triceratops like it was standard military procedure. If it had teeth, a tail, or a VHS release, it ended up in our living rooms. Oh, don't forget Calvin and Hobbes. That comic was basically an avatar for our childhood. Calvin didn't dream about baseball. He was Spaceman Spiff riding a T-Rex into battle. Dinosaurs were the canvas of our imagination. Spielberg just gave us the IMAX version. Yep. So yeah, when Jurassic Park blew our minds, let's not pretend that it came out of nowhere. It wasn't. It was the apex predator of a decade-long evolutionary chain of dinosaur content, and in my mind, is the absolute culmination of it is Jurassic Park 3. Yeah, see, if I had a bottle of water right now, I'd take a drink of it just so I could spit it out in shock. Better than the original. I didn't say it was better than the originals, but I love it for all the reasons that I love the things that came out before Jurassic Park that we just named. Look, the original's a freaking masterpiece, okay? Like the original Jaws. And much like the Jaws sequels, and unlike The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3 doesn't care about trying to recapture the magic of the first movie. Gone are the whimsical shots and awe of dinosaurs. Jurassic Park 3 focuses on one thing: being a good dinosaur movie. In that it absolutely I guess delivered. I'm just shocked that you could possibly say that about Jurassic Park 3, a movie that contains this infamous scene. Alan, how can you possibly defend this movie when it has such an idiotic scene in it? Awesome! That is so awesome that we are back to the look at this moment here. It means the entire movie is bad, which is exactly what you tried to do to dismiss Howard the Duck because of duck boobies. Well, the reason I can like the movie in spite of that undeniably odd choice is because it's literally 2 seconds of the film that doesn't cross my mind when T-Rex lifts his head up, when Spinosaurus is watching them with his belly ringing, because I don't let a blink and miss it moment ruin the entire rest of the movie.
Fair. I won't push the fact that scattered moments like that do not kill the film, but unlike the Okay, this movie asks us to go on a journey with characters that are hardly likable, because we have connection to Alan for reasons that apparently we can't.
He's from the first, so is Laura Dern. Stop being obtuse. You know what I'm talking about.
Because we have a connection to them, they are the only likable characters, but Dern is painfully underused and acts as a literal deus ex to save everyone at the end, and as much as I love Alan Grant, he isn't exactly likable in this. Even when they pair him up with a kid, he doesn't really change all that much, but that's probably not helped by the fact that they cast Tommy Tomasino as the kid we're supposed to root for. Hashtag Tommy Tomasino sucks big time. Oh, come on, you don't like Kirby and his smoking hot wife who somehow hides it for the entire movie? Or that guy that plays a goofy character and everything else but somehow is mistaken for a mercenary and a tracker? Or this guy that dies right away? Or badass black dude? Oh, he's dead too. Which side are you even on? You seem to hate these characters more than I do. Oh yeah, the characters are garbage in this movie. What? Thank you. So why are you defending
Because
it?
Jurassic Park 3 knows exactly what kind of movie it is. It's not pretending to be Jurassic Park. It's not trying to live up to Spielberg's legacy. It's the cinematic equivalent of a popcorn bucket. Greasy, disposable, and hits the spot. This is the kind of film you throw on during a summer sleepover when the pizza's getting a little cold and the sun's still setting at 9 p.m. It doesn't waste time pretending to be deep. It's a tight 90 minutes. It's not trying to build some corporate conspiracy like Jurassic World. It's not trying to lecture us on the chaos theory or environmentalism like The Lost World. It's a survival movie with dinosaurs. The whole thing kicks off and stays in fifth gear. No monologues, no boardroom scenes, no awkward Jeff Goldblum posing on the couch. The Spinosaurus wrecks a T-Rex in Act 1. Message received. New apex predator. That's
actually part of the problem. The Spinosaurus feels like a studio note. We need a bigger dinosaur. It's the Alien versus Predator approach. Escalate the threat without earning it. It's just escalation for escalation's sake. You don't feel tension. You just get louder roars. It's the Michael Bay school of filmmaking. If the explosion didn't wow them, explode louder.
Okay, first of all, louder roars rule.
Come on.
We go to dinosaur movies to hear those loud roars reverberate in our rib cages. And second of all, it works because of its escalation. After San Diego mess and Lost World, there's no going back to subtle. That movie literally has T-Rex casually walking through suburbia like he's trick-or-treating. The franchise already jumped the Mosasaur, so the only smart thing to do is go lean, go fast, go dino heavy.
You say lean and fast, but it feels half-baked. You can feel the script rewrites in real time. There are moments where you can literally hear the typewriter jam. The kid gets abandoned for 8 weeks and survives with T-Rex pee? Is he Bear Grylls' illegitimate child? William H. Macy's entire arc hinges on lying about being rich. Téa Leoni spends the entire movie screaming. It's like the writers put placeholders in and just never fix them. Insert compelling motivation here. I'll give you every bit of that. The script is an absolute mess, but it's a watchable mess, and unlike Lost World's endless treks through tall grass and monologues about extinction, and this one at least has the courtesy to be dumb and fun. The plane crash is excellent. The birdcage piece, it's creepy and original. Feels like something out of a Guillermo del Toro movie or something, and even the satellite phone that everybody laughs at, that's pure Spielbergian chaos. He didn't even direct it, by the way.
Well, yeah. Joe Johnston, the guy behind The Rocketeer, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, this man understands spectacle. He wanted to make a Jurassic Park sequel from the start, and he didn't pretend it was Shakespeare. And you know what? Sometimes you want the theme park ride. Sometimes you want your movie to feel like the universal attraction, just with a higher body count.
Yep. Okay, but the ending, Fanboy, the literal Navy shows up out of nowhere because Alan Grant used a satellite phone to call
You
Laura
mean
Dern's
the most
husband?
badass Karen move of all time, calling her husband up for help? You're gonna tell me you didn't get chills when the tanks rolled up and that triumphant theme kicked in? It's like Saving Private Ryan meets like Animal Planet. And it actually pays off earlier scenes. People forget that scene with Dern and the baby probably got added in rewrites just to justify it being there, but it's still there, and it gives her agency, which is more than most characters got in the Lost World. You want to call it a Deus Ex Machina? Fine. I call it poetic justice, or at the very least, competent screen patching.
You're right, I am going to call it a Dern Ex Machina, and explain that the only reason that it exists is because it was shoehorned in a scene earlier where she had a toddler and can't go. The moment she said he works for the State Department, I felt the plot twist loading in 56K
Maybe
modem.
because that's not a twist, it's planned and payoff, and it's still better than the T-Rex showing up to eat a dog in San Diego and attack a Blockbuster
Yeah, I
video.
thought we weren't comparing this. Oh, whatever. Fine.
first one.
Look, I concede that Jurassic Park 3 is more coherent than The Lost World, but that's only by default. And that's like saying Alien Resurrection is better than Alien vs. Predator. Technically, yes, but do we celebrate that?
I'll take it. You're basically admitting that it's the second best movie of the Jurassic Park franchise.
Now, hold on now. I like Jurassic World.
Yeah, and it also has a screaming woman being eaten by a pterosaur and for no reason, and a high heel chase scene. And let's not pretend it's high cinema either, okay? That movie's like watching a Lego set go to war with itself.
Okay, well, here, final question. Is this actually a good movie, or is it just a better movie than people give it credit for?
Well, the answer to that would be yes. It's a good dinosaur movie that got buried under expectation. And you know what? I'll take 90 minutes of flawed but fun dinosaur action over 2 hours of brooding lectures and CGI locusts.
Really mad about Dominion still, aren't you?
Yeah. Hashtag justice for the Spinosaur.
But how can you be so forgiving just because it's fun? Last week, you were tearing apart Superman 3 for not being as magical as the first
Hold on, bro. You told me last week that we need to judge the movie for what it's trying to be, and Superman 3 was trying to be a thoughtful legacy sequel, and instead gave us Richard Pryor skiing down a skyscraper. Jurassic Park 3 isn't trying to be anything more than a dinosaur-chomping thrill ride, and that's exactly what it is. It's doing what Jaws 3D, Anaconda, Deep Blue Sea were all trying to do, and doing it better. You can't grade it on the Jurassic Park standards when it's clearly aiming for Saturday matinee creature feature. This isn't science fiction with philosophical implications. It's Saturday Sci-Fi Channel, but with Spielberg's blessing. You're mad that it's not The Godfather when it's clearly trying to be Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
A low bar is still a bar.
All right, then let me hit you with this. The aviary scene. That's hands down the best dinosaur moment since the original T-Rex breakout. That's real horror. The mist, the screeches, it's the birds meets the descent with a pteranodon. It's got build-up, tension, visual storytelling. You're not just watching people run from flapping CG. You're watching them get hunted inside a haunted house in the sky, essentially. It's a Frankenstein meets Hitchcock moment with dinosaurs. And it's not nostalgia-based either. If it's new, if it were The Descent or something like that, it'd be the centerpiece that they put in the trailer to make you crap yourself. It's horror filmmaking, not monster mayhem.
I'll admit that one set piece actually feels very fresh. It's the first time the series has made flying dinosaurs
The whole
scary.
movie.
Before that, they were just background window dressing, like pigeons in Home Alone 2. It has mood, it has tension, it's not just noise. You feel something ancient and intelligent is hunting them. Not just a jump
what I'm
scare,
saying.
but actual dread.
And you can tell that Johnston actually wanted to make
Point.
something terrifying there, and it works because it's not just CGI mayhem. It's got staging, atmosphere, momentum. The characters are completely out of their element, and the audience knows it before they do. It's the rare moment where this franchise leans into pure suspense, not just action. That scene alone justifies the movie's existence.
But for me, it still all falls apart because the characters are just garbage.
And here's where I'll say that criticism is kind of garbage because this isn't the big chill with dinosaurs. It's a survival horror movie. You don't want richly drawn characters. You want dinosaur bait. You want people dumb enough to get separated, panic, scream, and get eaten in creative ways. That's not a bug, that's a blueprint. You don't watch Final Destination for nuanced character arcs. You watch it to see who gets lawnmowered. That's absolutely a lazy excuse. You can still write compelling people and put them in a survival story. Look at Aliens.
You don't see the-
Look at Predator. Those characters had personality. They had arcs, even the grunts. Here, it's like a middle school improv class. You're the rich one. You're the annoying one. You're the guy who gets eaten 5 minutes in. Go! Okay, well, it's the third movie. Those were R-rated movies that had time to build their arcs. This is a PG-13 90-minute dinosaur chase. It's closer to a Friday the 13th sequel than Jurassic Park. No monologues, just a bunch of meat puppets and mayhem. The point is, come for the carnage, stay for Alan Grant's fed-up eye rolls. If you walked out of this movie upset that the divorced couple didn't have layered motivations, you probably walked into the wrong theater. That's like being mad that Sharknado didn't explore grief. So then what is the standard exactly? Just check your brain at the door? Of course not, but don't overpack your bags for a roller coaster ride. You don't bring philosophy books to a Splash Mountain ride. You buckle in, scream at the drops, and laugh when someone gets soaked. You want to know what it got wrong? Not enough people got eaten. Every annoying character should have been Spinosaurus sushi. The kid should have been gone halfway digested before Grant even showed up, and Grant should have walked out covered in blood, middle fingers raised, Final Girl style, like Jamie Lee Curtis with a fossil debris. Final Girl Alan Grant? You know I'm right. He's 5'3" movies, faced down raptors, babysat and traumatized all the kids, and had to explain evolution to Jeff Goldblum. Okay, look, I'm not saying Jurassic Park 3 is not without value. It's competently shot, the dinosaur effects mostly hold up, and I'll give it the aviary scene, fine, that's gold. But a Jurassic Park movie should be more than a creature feature. It should inspire awe, spark the imagination, make you think about the implications of man playing God. This is a snack food version of Jurassic Park. Popcorn with teeth, and sometimes that's fine, but don't ask me to rank it anywhere near the original when it barely remembers why the original even worked. And to me, that's exactly why it works. It doesn't pretend to be some philosophical dissertation with dinosaur metaphors or Jeff Goldblum's shirtless monologues. It's a monster movie. Fast, punchy, scream-filled monster movie with grumpy Alan Grant and a Spinosaurus who punches through a friggin' airplane. It delivers exactly what it promises. In a sea of overloaded sequels, this one trims the fat and just goes. And that makes it a minor miracle. You want chaos theory? Try surviving a giant bird cage while your backpack dangles over a foggy pit of winged nightmares. That's chaos enough. All right. Here's where I land. Jurassic Park 3 isn't some masterpiece, but it never tried to be. And that's kind of the point. It knows its role in the franchise. It gives you dinosaurs, danger, and a reason to root for Sam Neill again. It might not have the elegance of the first one or the ambition of the second one, but it's a tight, thrilling, dino-chomping ride that deserves way more credit than it gets. So check it out if you haven't seen it. And if you love dinosaurs, there's absolutely plenty to work with here. So remember, whether you watch as a cinema fan or a cinemaphile, always try and be a cinema advocate like me. See you next week.
As long as we've got movies, we got the world in our hands. From Gremlins to the tango in cashier stands, through laughter and tears, the passion won't quit. Oh, it's Solo, the cinema advocate.
You know, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how you can hate Jurassic Park 3 this much. Like, seriously, what happened to you, man?
I got over dinosaurs. I don't know what you want me to say.
You got over dinosaurs?
Yeah. 1994, that was it.
94.
Peaked. Moved on.
Lost World didn't come out to 97. No other dinosaur movies released in the theaters before that except... Oh, seriously? Well, yabba dabba